Severus Snape, the man who made sarcasm an art form, looks like he's afraid of sunlight and taught potions with all the warmth of a Dementor, undoubtedly had one of the most surprising character arcs in the whole saga. For years, he was the dark shadow in the corridors of Hogwarts, and to Harry, he was just another obstacle, an angry man in black robes who seemed personally offended by his existence. But beneath the layers of resentment and bitterness, there was something else. Something Harry, and as a matter of fact, most of us viewers and readers, didn't see until it was nearly too late. What if I told you that Harry Potter, the boy who lived, the chosen one, wouldn't have made it past the first year if it weren't for the very man he mistrusted the most? Let's talk about all the 21 times Severus Snape, sometimes openly, often secretly, and at times even inadvertently, stepped in to keep Harry safe. Because without Snape, Voldemort wouldn't have needed 7 books, he'd have needed maybe 3 chapters. Let's rewind to the very beginning, before Hogwarts, before lightning scars and cupboard bedrooms. The first time Snape saved Harry was actually before Harry could even say Expelliarmus. When Voldemort decided to kill Lily Potter, Snape, already a Death Eater, begged him to spare her life. This wasn't strategy. It wasn't espionage. It was desperation. Snape loved Lily, and though Voldemort agreed to spare her as a courtesy, that single moment gave Lily the chance to choose her own death. That choice, the act of sacrificing herself when given an out, is what created the magical protection that shielded Harry from the killing curse. It's tragic, really. James died trying to fight, but his fate and his death were already determined before Voldemort stepped into their house. Thus, his sacrifice didn't protect Harry. But Lily's choice, granted only because of Snape's pleading, did. It's the most profound butterfly effect moment in the whole saga. And Snape probably never even knew the impact of that choice, but it is what brought us all together on the journey. Fast forward to Harry's first year at Hogwarts, and things start getting suspiciously dangerous. During his first Quidditch match, Harry's broom starts bucking like a dragon on espresso. Everyone's panicking. Hermione suspects Snape of trying to knock Harry off and literally sets him on fire. Classic misunderstanding. In reality, Snape was doing the opposite. He was counter-cursing Harry's broom. The actual culprit? Quirrell, with Voldemort growing out the back of his head. And in the very next game, even though it's never shown in the movies, Snape actually volunteers as a referee to make sure nothing like that happens again. He literally puts himself in the middle of the pitch to keep Harry safe. Second year rolls around and Hogwarts continues its proud tradition of being a death trap disguised as a school. During the Dueling Club scene, when Lockhart, the human embodiment of a resume lie, pairs Harry and Ron with, well, his broken wand, it's Snape who intervenes. He immediately shuts down the idea of Ron dueling, warning that Ron's wand might send Potter to the hospital wing in a matchbox. It's a rare moment of dry wit masking actual concern. Later during the same duel scene, Draco launches a snake at Harry. Snape steps in and casts Vipera Evanesca, vanishing the snake before things spiral further. Quick, efficient, and again, unnoticed. However, these two moments are not enough. It can also be argued that Snape was the one who taught Harry Expelliarmus during that Duel Club meeting, a protective spell that would become so synonymous with Harry that even the Death Eaters would use it to identify him later on during the Battle of the Seven Potters. Whilst not necessarily direct, the impact is irrefutable and has led to Harry escaping with his life countless times. Let's talk about the third year, where the danger level spikes with an escaped convict, Dementors, and a time turner. After a rather emotional reveal involving Sirius Black and Peter Pettigrew, Lupin turns into a werewolf under the full moon. Everything descends into chaos, and Snape arrives just in time. He could have left. He could have said, "Not my problem." But no, his first instinct is, get the kids behind me. He literally shields Harry, Ron, and Hermione with his body. Say what you will about Snape, but when things got real, he chose to stand between 3 students and a raging werewolf. No hesitation. And when it came to Sirius Black, a man he believed had betrayed Lily, he still didn't let his grudge cloud the fact that the kids needed protection first. That's loyalty to his promise, not his feelings. During Harry's 5th year, Snape provides multiple crucial saves in a world where danger rises by the day, with Voldemort being back in Umbridge turning the school into a totalitarian state. This is when Snape begins teaching Harry occlumency. Okay, teaching might be a strong word. It's more like aggressively trying to force Harry to stop seeing Voldemort's dream feed. Snape's bedside manner? Non-existent. But the stakes were huge. He was trying to keep Harry's mind from being used like a phone line by the Dark Lord. When Umbridge interrogates Harry about Sirius and the so-called weapon, she demands Veritaserum, but Snape tells her he's out of stock because she already used up his last supply earlier in the year. In the book, after the attack on Mr. Weasley, Umbridge previously gave Harry a drink laced with Veritaserum, but it had no effect because Snape had deliberately weakened it. Also, remember the cryptic message Harry gives Snape during the interrogation scene before going into the Dark Forest? This cryptic message about Sirius being in danger leads Snape to alert the Order of the Phoenix, which leads to the Order arriving at the Department of Mysteries to help Harry and his friends in the battle against the Death Eaters and Lord Voldemort. Sixth year is where Snape's loyalty becomes a masterclass in playing both sides. He makes the unbreakable vow to protect Draco Malfoy, and in the end, he's the one who kills Dumbledore, but not out of malice, because Dumbledore asked him to. It was mercy, strategy, and burden all in one. It is shortly before that iconic scene on the tower where Snape reveals himself to Harry, preventing him from engaging the Death Eaters on the tower. Snape also steps in when Harry nearly kills Draco with Sectum Sempra. In doing so, he protects Harry from losing himself and becoming a murderer at 16, something that would have taken a toll on Harry forever. By stepping in and healing Draco, he takes the situation into his own hands and likely shields Harry from more severe consequences. He even keeps Harry alive during the Death Eater attack. When Harry follows Snape, Bellatrix, and the other Death Eaters after the death of Dumbledore to confront Snape, he ensures Harry's safety under the pretense that the Dark Lord wants him for himself. Also talking about Harry confronting Snape, let's not forget how Snape must have known that Harry was using his old textbook and allowed him to do so. Whilst this is arguably an indirect one, the textbook not only made Harry a better wizard, think of the spells he learned, it also led to Harry finding out the truth about the Horcruxes by means of him using the liquid luck he obtained for his outstanding work in the potions class under Horace Slughorn. This information ultimately led to the demise of the Dark Lord and, by extension, the threat against Harry's life. Now we reach the final act. Snape continues his double life, serving as headmaster under Voldemort's regime while secretly protecting the students from the Carrows. When plans are being made to move Harry from Privet Drive, Snape, still undercover as a Death Eater, subtly helps the Order. He can't blow his cover, but he charmed Mundungus Fletcher into suggesting the use of multiple decoy Potters. That idea saved Harry's life during the Battle of the Seven Potters. He also gives and leads Harry to the Sword of Gryffindor using his Patronus, the Silver Doe, the same form as Lily's. It's not just a message, it's a memory in motion. And he doesn't just toss the sword into a pond and leaves right away. He stays nearby, making sure Harry survives, even as he's being pulled underwater. It's Ron who saves Harry, but Snape made sure someone would. This pivotal moment not only reunites the friend group, but provides them with a real way of fighting the Horcruxes. There's also the moment during his duel with McGonagall where he reflects her spells not at her, but at the Death Eaters behind him. It's a tiny act that screams volumes. He's defending Hogwarts and Harry while making his exit. He's buying time, not seeking victory. And before his death, he gives Harry his memories. It's not a goodbye, it's an explanation. It's everything Harry never knew about the man he despised. And suddenly, everything clicks into place. Harry didn't name his son after Snape because he forgot everything the man had done. He did it because he remembered. Because after seeing Snape's memories, Harry finally understood the truth. Snape didn't just protect him out of duty, he did it out of love. Love for Lily, yes, but also, eventually, a protectiveness for the boy who carried her eyes. Snape's hatred for Harry mirrored his hatred for James, but his protection of Harry? That was all his love for Lily. He was never the hero who smiled while saving the day. He was the one who stayed in the shadows, who got no applause, and who paid the ultimate price for a promise he made decades ago. So yes, Harry Potter was the boy who lived, but he only lived because Severus Snape, bitter, brilliant, and heartbroken, made sure he did. Again and again and again. From the dungeons to the tower, from secret potions to life-saving spells, Snape played a long game where the prize was someone else's survival. He was the bravest man Harry ever knew, and maybe now we finally understand why. If you like this breakdown, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and drop your favorite Snape moment in the comments. Was he a hero, a villain, or just the most complicated soul in the entire wizarding world? This is Geek Talks. Thank you for joining in.